No, but we can agree that when we talk about purpose, mostly it's given by something outside of ourselves.
Right.
Right? So the purpose of a wheel is to make the car go.
Yeah.
And the purpose of a pen is to write something outside of itself.
Yes.
And so we won't go through it all, but our purpose, presumably given by God, is to serve God. But when we get to God, there's nothing outside of God.
Yeah.
So, in the same thing, he hasn't got a purpose in.
How have you come to that conclusion?
Well, I've just worked through it.
How?
Well, by what I've said.
No, you just made a statement.
No,
How did you arrive at that statement?
Well, by saying, by observing that everything is given its meaning and purpose by something outside of itself.
Let's work on that first.
Yeah.
Everything is given meaning and purpose outside of itself.
By something outside.
But
of itself.
a pen doesn't have independent thought.
Pen doesn't, certainly not.
No, it doesn't.
No.
So there is no such thing as a purpose behind the pen which is outside
No,
it.
because, well,
If I can just finish.
Yeah, there is.
It is. We are only giving it purpose because we are sentient beings.
Yeah,
we are beings who are able to.
Yeah, we are
now,
outside the pen.
we aren't. The pen is one thing, but if you were to take it further, and I ask you, what are you composed of? Atoms.
Atoms, yeah.
What is the pen composed of?
Atoms.
Atoms. Is there a difference?
Not at that level, no.
No, there isn't, is there? So what is making the difference?
What is making the difference is the way the atoms are organised.
Organized, exactly.
Yeah.
But if they are organized and you reorganize atoms, they don't give you life. They'll still be atoms.
Well, fair enough. No, I'm not quibbling about that.
No, we aren't, are we? So once life has been given,
Yeah.
it has to be established whether that life was as a result of independent.
No, you're getting around it.
No, I'm not. The independent connections of the atoms. But we will work with the proviso that the Supreme Creator created life. The Creator created life,
Yeah, but why?
and the Creator told us why He created us. I use the word He in the context of power, not necessarily that He has got a gender.
No.
Yeah? So He created, and then He told us why He created us.
So we have become the meaning of God.
If you want to think like that, yes, but I would prefer that you looked at the guidance that the Creator has given and established whatever we are thinking on that basis.
I don't know.
Well, you need to tell me why you don't know. You need to provide the evidence.
Well, because if you can
Or the
follow
reasoning.
it through,
Yeah.
saying that something outside of a thing gives it a purpose.
But we need to establish whether that is true, what you just said.
That is true, yeah.
Why do you think it is true?
Well, because I
Explain
observe
it.
No, I observe it.
Okay, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Is there anything outside the universe?
This is exactly my point. There's
I'm
nothing
addressing
outside
it.
The universe.
How do we know?
We don't actually know.
Well, if we don't know, how do we know it's not there?
How do it's not there?
Yeah,
What?
something outside the universe.
We don't know.
Well, if we don't know, can we still come with a conclusion?
Well, look, I don't mind.
No,
us
we
not
can't.
having a conclusion. I don't mind us not having a conclusion.
But
this
as I
conclusion-
said, you know, if you look at the information we possess today, on a scientific level, about the universe and everything in it,
Yeah.
it constitutes approximately 10%, if that. In other words, we are basing our life and how to live our life
10% of
on the basis of information that in any other reasonable court, not a court of law, in any court would not be permitted to be used as the basis. So how come we are living like that?
how come we're living like
Yes.
But without, I don't know.
Because I will tell you why. Because we are, by definition, if we look at us human beings, we are inclined to be led rather than to lead. We are. Now, not only that, but you will also find that the majority of human beings readily accept what is said rather than actually investigating whether there is any basis for it.
That's right.
And if you, for example, in this country, me and you, are always reading the Sun newspaper every morning, then the likelihood is that our reasoning facilities are going to be somehow interfered with on the basis of what we read. So if we are continually being told in the Sun yes, that the moon is made of jelly, I can guarantee you 15 years down the line, children will grow up believing that.
They might do, yeah.
Now, you see, the problem is that as us human beings are, we are, as I said, reasonable, rational human beings in most parts. Yeah?
Well, all right. Well, I'm not happy
Except
with
when we
that.
are drunk.
No, not so much.
Or drugged.
No, because,
Whichever.
Well, you've got to, in the same line, you've got to now, if you use reason to justify all of our thinking, you've got to find some justification for reason.
You mean purpose?
No, reason.
Right.
Rationality.
Yes, yes.
If you use that as the judge, the benchmark,
As the yardstick.
a yardstick,
Yes.
benchmark, whatever, then you've got to find some justification for reason. And
Absolutely.
rationality. But
True.
it can't provide its own.
No, it can't. It would be.
Justification.
Now, you see, you have to make a distinction between subjective assessments and objective ones. Yeah. In this case, if we look at the situation.
Well, subjective or objective, it's all the same.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. That leads to rational thinking, and then you would come to a conclusion. But on the basis of the point you made, if we go to that, okay, the Creator created humanity. The Creator then informed humanity of the very reason for why we were created. And if we were created,
So that is making us the purpose and meaning of God's being.
of the whole creation, yes,
Yeah,
yes. Do we find anything wrong with that?
yes.
Why?
Well, does not make much of a God, is it, really?
You don't.
Depends on
From
us
what
for
you
it.
have said, you don't even know what the Creator is and what He wants
No,
us.
quite so.
Well, if you don't, how can you come with assumptions like this?
So that's the way it looks.
I agree, but that is why I told you, right, you have read the Quran, you told me,
I have
last
read
time,
it, yeah.
okay?
I did read it, yeah.
And you haven't found anything to object?
To object to,
Yes.
I found a few things to object to.
Give me an example.
Well, there's a lot of different verses on what we're made of.
And what,
Made of water,
why
made
do you,
of water, made
right,
of
what objection can you find with that?
No, but because in another verse it says we're made of dust, in another verse it says we're made of clay, and
Absolutely.
in another verse it says we're made of nothing. Which is it?
It says we are made of nothing?
Yeah,
Where does it say that?
in somewhere I read that. Yeah.
The camera is running.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me, the next time we meet, which verse this
Well,
is.
I read that, I'm sure. When I made you out of nothing.
No,
Even so,
no, that's a different thing.
forgetting that
I
one.
understand what you mean,
If
yeah.
one verse says water, another one says dust,
Yeah.
clay, or
Yes.
which is it?
Are you thinking that it is only one and not the other? Is that what you are thinking?
Well, that's
Or
what
can
says.
it,
No,
okay,
that's
can it
what
be a
says.
combination of things?
No, it says that.
No, I know
I
it
don't
says
know.
that.
I don't know. It
I'm
says
telling you, it says that.
we made you
But
out of water or
yeah,
something.
we made you out of water. We made you out of clay. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. We made you out of a quintessence of a liquid. Yes. Yeah, it does. But if you look at it, there's nothing. It actually is correct. Because if you put all the components together, that is how we are created. So there isn't a problem. So now give me another one.
Well, that's enough.
Well, it can't be, can
well,
it?
then the virgin birth is another one.
Okay, let's look at that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Virgin birth, which
What-
you would claim as a miracle.
No, I don't claim that.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't claim that. I can say one thing,
Yeah.
that if we can clearly establish that we know approximately 10% of the universe and everything it contains, yeah, I would also suggest to you that what we call the virgin birth, at this moment in time, the scientific, I'm using the word scientific because that's what we understand, the scientific research that is taking place, yeah, is to try and see if that is possible. Now, not only that, but in the plant world, yeah, and in the animal kingdom, yeah, there are different types of sexuality. There is the asexual, yes. How does that occur? It is without.
yeah, asexual.
How does it happen?
I don't know.
But the possibility is there.
But
Now,
in-
if I can just,
no,
if
wait a minute, in
if I can
human
just finish.
beings, yeah.
No, let's go. But if I were to ask you now that we are back 5,000 years,
Yeah.
when we were not aware of asexual reproduction, and we came across that, what would we think?
We would have thought then that it were a miracle.
That's exactly the point. Now you go back to that time,
So it's only
but now
called-
not only that, but it is such an advanced form of science that I can guarantee you we will understand it exactly.
We will do.
We will.
What about then in the same thing, blowing on the clay and the birds flew away? I mean, that's a little bit more tricky. And also,
Absolutely, but here is the point though. You're absolutely right. Now, if you look at the clay birds being flown, by the in the Quran it talks about how Jesus Christ, who we know as Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, said by the permission of God he could do certain things. Yeah? But here is the issue. You see, in the Quran, okay, you have got information. Some of the information is at a time that we are not privy to. Okay? So it would not be considered primary evidence. It can't be, because we are absent from it, or it is absent from us. Yes? However, if for example I tell you 6 things, yeah? Let's just simplify it. Let's say 5 things, yeah? 4 are completely reasonable. The 5th you are not entirely sure about.
yeah,
What would your conclusion be about them?
but about them all,
Yes, because they are collective.
well, I wouldn't take them as collective.
You wouldn't, would you?
Separate them out.
You'd separate them. So let's separate them. Separate them. This one,
Try and sort those out.
this one, yeah. So you sorted the 4 out. They are all completely reasonable. Yeah. The 5th one you haven't been able to sort out. But the 5th one is as a basis of these 4.
Then I would say it's a very poor basis.
If it's a poor
Wouldn't
basis,
accept it.
no, of course you wouldn't. But your logic has to determine that. Now let's see if it does. Okay? According to what I said, okay, if the primary evidence clearly shows that you were not the murderer, but the circumstantial evidence is pointing towards you, which one would be chosen
Which one would be chosen? I think
to determine your guilt?
my guilt. Oh, well, I think they would dismiss the circumstantial, I think.
But suppose that it had some, what we call, probative value. Yeah, probative value in legal terms. If it had a certain amount of truth,
All right.
what would happen?
You probably add it up to...
It would. It would. But the make the judgment, the deciders,
Yeah, but
the ones who are
I've
going to
dec-
judge.
I've decided-
One second, if I can just finish. Your logic now is going against you. You see, if the primary, if I can just finish,
Come back.
if the primary evidence is proving you are not the murderer, but the circumstantial evidence is something that cannot be decided upon, yeah, but it has probative value, it will still be included. But on the basis of the primary evidence, you will be found not guilty. Quite elementary reasoning.
Yeah, that's all right. But
So now, contrast,
why-
if I can just
but
compare
wait,
and...
No, wait. Who
Yeah,
is to decide what is the probative value of it?
That's brilliant. So
Because
you
the
need a yardstick.
probative
Yes.
value, my judgment of the probative value
Yeah, probative value. Yeah. Yes.
would be nil.
Absolutely, and I would agree with you.
Yeah.
But then the primary evidence, if you start from page 1 to the end, yeah, is there. The Quran itself is primary. If I can just,
dismiss the whole.
that's entirely your decision, but it is not on an evidential basis. You see, the primary evidence is there. Okay? If you are going to look at historical elements within the Quran, they are secondary evidence because you are not in the presence of that event.
Or not, but then why?
Now, one second.
Expected to accept it.
Absolutely. No, not accept it. As I said, if the primary evidence is clearly establishing a point, then what we would consider to be secondary evidence automatically, as I was saying about probative value, yeah, automatically has to sit with the primary evidence. However, because it is secondary evidence and we are not privy to it, okay, then primary evidence will supersede secondary evidence.
Yeah,
Logical.
yeah.
So there isn't a problem.
There isn't a problem. Well, maybe not for you, but for me, there's
No.
still- but what
Look,
about,
if I want to, if I
of
want
the
to, if I want to create a problem, I can do
Well,
so.
of course, why not?
But I would be defeating myself, nobody else.
So you will put the Jesus talking in the same
What Jesus talking? What do you mean?
Did he not speak
In his
when he
cradle.
In his cradle.
In his cradle.
Yeah, yeah.
Again, secondary evidence.
You would think so, but
Not think so. Tell me how it is not.
well, it's never
Because
been
you-
known, never
because-
been known before.
That's a different matter. But here, let's deal with the evidence. We are not present to witness that, are we?
Well, no, we're not.
We can't be.
No,
We will never be.
but we're not present to witness lots of things.
Agreed.
What about, no,
Agreed.
What about the substitution
You are agreeing
of
with
Jesus
me.
on the cross?
It doesn't say that in the Quran.
Well, it says he didn't die on the thing.
That's a different issue.
Well,
But I will tell you, okay, let's go with that one, okay? When the Quran, this is in chapter 4, verse 157, where it is telling you, وَمَا قَتَلُوا وَمَا صَلَبُوا, they kill him, nor did they crucify him. Well, a claim has been made. But it goes further. It says, and those who differ therein are full of doubt and merely follow conjecture. Whatever we are going to discuss, is going to be but conjecture.
Yeah. So what we're getting
But the certainty
now,
is that he was not
So
crucified.
where we're getting to now is
That you are agreeing with me.
No, I'm not agreeing with you. That we have got to find enough evidence to overcome our doubts.
There you are.
That's
But
what we've got to
the
do.
amazing thing is
But-
in Surah, if I can just say,
Yeah.
you see, in the Quran, in a particular chapter, this is what we are told, yeah? 41:53. This is what it says. We, the Creator, shall show them our signs on the horizons and within themselves until it is manifest to them that this is the truth. To whom? To humanity. In other words, the very issue of research has been acknowledged in the Quran, but it is also making the claim that when you do all that necessary research, you will find that you will concur with what the truth is contained in the Quran. And in Surah 17 verse 81,
Well, it's going to depend on who pegs out first, me or God.
you are absolutely right, and that is why it is so important that we establish whether there is a creator, and if there is a creator, what is our relationship. I use the word relationship not in the conventional sense.
right.
What is our interaction with the creator? It is vitally urgent for every human being, because it's not a question about age. Naturally, we said that the older you get, the more likely it is you are going to die.
Yeah, right.
But evidence shows us that 2-year-old kids, 9-year-olds, 15, at any given time we can go.
Yeah.
Before that happens, we must establish what our true purpose was on earth. Because if we miss this opportunity, we will not get another chance. So logic dictates that we must establish certain things. And like I said, if you look at the evidence as a whole, you cannot but help and accept and conclude that the Quran is the message from the Creator.
Well,
Like you have pointed out certain things and I have explained to you. Now you need to tell me, well, that explanation is wrong because of this evidence. You can't do that.
what we'll do next time.
No problem. God willing, yes, of course.
next time.
Absolutely, no problem at all.
Right, oh, well, that's good. That's enough for one
Yeah,
week.
that's good. I have an umbrella there as well. Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah,
Nice seeing you again. Keep
well,
healthy,
you was
sir.
up here, yeah.
I know. That's how it should be.
Go from confusion to confusion.
No, God willing, everything will clear. Look after yourself.
Yeah, I've got something for you.
Okay, bye.